Hey guys, it's Dee Wiley with the Heart Headed Way podcast. Happy New Year. Oh my God. I'm so excited about 2023 and what I want to do personally and professionally for myself. What I hope to do with the podcast, I'm still planning out a lot of season two. And I keep saying planning. That way it gives me grace if I don't release as much as I want to and do all the things that I had planned to do. Because again, this is my love project and I am not going to stress myself out over it at all. And so anyway, still planning some recordings and things like that. This season though, of course, still talking about Village, still talking about mentoring and sharing people in my village and whether it be their professional skills, whatever. I do want to focus a little bit more on family, especially the Black man in family. I have some conversations that I'll be having with Corey and other family members to just kind of talk about that. And then I want to talk about friendships. After seeing what happened with the girl, I think it was in Mexico or whatever, I, y'all, it was so heartbreaking. I just couldn't, for the life of me, I don't understand what happened. What was the miss? What was um what were the signs that were overlooked for her? I don't know. I can't. But anyway, it spawned so many questions that I have about friendships and how we hold friendships. And I'll be the first one to say I am horrible at friendships a lot of times. And so for me, I can't wait to have some conversations with my cousins. We'll talk about friendships there. Um, talk to some of my girlfriends, some of my guy friends. I just think relationally, it matters to have, even if it's just one or two that get you. I watched The Best Man, the final chapter, and y'all, that was such a beautiful representation of what I would hope we can all experience as far as village, how they showed up for each other, the ups and downs, how they were able to be candid with each other, how they experienced very tender, very hard moments, whether it be about your children or whatever. It was so beautiful and engaging and all the things. And so it left me, listen, and I watch things over and over again because I get hung up on words. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. And watching it the first time, I just thought that it was beautifully executed, and it was just a beautiful display of having a solid support group that is not blood related. I thought that was absolutely beautiful. Everybody did a wonderful job. And so again, I want to perpetuate that in my village. So I want to have conversations about it, even for calling me to the light for the things that I struggle with in friendships and how do I overcome that? And so we'll have a lot of conversations around that. I'll have some group conversations. I want to talk also about I want to push this more, Black women in leadership. It's I have a thorn in my side right now, and in doing that, I like to hear other people's perspective to, number one, open up my own, but also just to see how far out, am I alone in this? Are we sharing in this? I touched on it a little bit in season one, and I didn't get a chance to really expound on it as much as I had intended to, but I want to talk about that this season. And those are things that are near and dear to me in this season of my life. And so looking forward to it. I don't have my guest list even built out, y'all. I'm still building that. And it's usually based off of something I've read, something I've seen in my scrolling. And it just, it's a think about what I want to talk about. And then I just happen to come across somebody who I think it's perfect for the discussion. And so anyway, the few that I've already identified, of course, they happen organically. They're in my circle in some kind of way. And one of the ones that I'm very excited about is, I call her my goddaughter. I'm pretty sure that I would have to fight off some other people when I say goddaughter, but she's a pilot, and she's been a pilot since she was about 16. And I think she is so dope. I am so excited to share her with you guys. I actually need to get some time set up with her so we can get that recorded. But anyway, very excited about the conversations that I do already have planned. And then I want to talk about, what are you planning for 2023? What are your resolutions or your goals? Do you do resolutions or goals, or, how do you kick off the new year? I read Atomic Habits, y'all. And in reading Atomic Habits, he talks about how you just change 1% of something that you have going on. Very small thing. And so if I want to lose weight, I don't go and say, okay, I have to eat this and I have to do that and have to do this. You start by making small changes. And in doing that, it could be as simple as, hey, I want to just start drinking water this week. And that's all you focus on. Or maybe you say, I'll drink water for lunch, and eliminate sodas. If you do that, you change the small things, and the small things eventually connect and become bigger things. And that's how you perpetuate a lifestyle change. And that's what I am actually seeking. I want to make some lifestyle changes. And so for that, am I calling them goals? Or I think I'm calling them goals that I'm setting. I usually, for 2022, I think I started it over COVID. So it may have been around 2021. Everybody has this word, like, what's your word for the year? And mine is a word or phrase. And I use that as my pulse check throughout the year. And so 2022, my phrase was be intentional. And the be intentional was about leaving the house. And so, believe it or not, I am a homebody. I think I've said this before. And I could be in the house nonstop. It wouldn't bother me. COVID, being stuck in the house, it didn't necessarily bother me. It was because I had to teach Peyton at the same time. That's the part that bothered me. But other than that, I'm okay with being at home. I don't have to leave out of the house very much. And then once the world started opening back up, I started this love-hate relationship with TJ Maxx, and I'm there like every Friday, right? So anyway, so be intentional was what I chose for 2022. But for 2023, my phrase, y'all, is, I can see that ring light in my glasses and it's driving me crazy. My phrase is, I'm putting me at the top of my to-do list. And in doing that, I have two things: self-care, and I'm going to clap for myself. The self-care has many layers to it, because there's so many dimensions to us as women. But the first part of it will be about rest. I don't ever rest. I'm a thinker, and my brain never shuts down. And I don't know that I'm always thinking about solutions necessarily, or fixing broken things, or how can I make things better. I just never stop thinking, y'all. Like, I can watch a movie and I start to self-reflect, and what character did I associate? Did I, relate to? And I don't know. It's just a constant amount of thinking that's happening up here. And so when I'm home on the days that I'm supposed to be relaxing, I seldom just relax. I may lay down for a little while, but I find myself getting up and I was like, I can just put a load of clothes in the washer or do something like that. I just never completely shut down. And I actually did that last week, and it felt so weird. It felt, my mom didn't believe in going to bed with dishes in the sink. And so it's that built-in stuff that you have, and it's just hard to turn it off. So anyway, I want to be mindful about my rest and get good rest. And then the other part is I want to do some things to pamper myself. I told you guys in my previous episode that I struggle with neck pain because I've had 2 neck surgeries and stuff. And so with that, I am wanting to, whether it be going to get me a monthly massage or doing something like that. I may buy some massager things for the house, but I want to be intentional about doing those things just so my body can feel better. If I'm going to work out, I need a good recovery process. And so that's the thing. I'm trying to be better about my physical aspect and working out. And y'all, listen at this. For the last 2 weeks, I've been getting up at 4:15 and working out from 5 to 6. Can y'all believe that? Listen, Atomic Habits, do the small things. Before I even started the working out, I set my alarm for 4:15. I got up, used the restroom, and I go back to bed so I could get my body used to getting up. I did this for about a couple of weeks before I even started working out. And so when I got on up and it was finally time for me to get up, get in the truck, and go up to Orange Theory, it hurt, but not as bad. So anyway, I want to do all the things, but again, they're all connected. So if I'm going to work out, I need to have a good recovery, and then I need to have rest days. And then obviously you got to have some good mental and spiritual care in the midst of that as well. So I haven't done any individual therapy in quite some time, and I need to get back on that. And then, like I told you guys, in my birthday shenanigans episode, I was going to start this prayer journey with Crystal Evans' book and use that. It's a 28-day journey. So I'm going to use that to kind of launch back into the deep with my studying, because I struggle with studying too. I've been polling people to see when do they do devotions. A lot of people say I'm up early in the morning, I do my devotions. And I tried that for a period of time, but I don't, it's not working. At night is when it really works for me. And so in the morning I'll pray, but me sitting and doing devotion in the morning before I leave, it's not something I have been consistently able to do. And so anyway, trying to find my sweet spot for those kinds of things. But again, I'm not going to overwhelm myself and say, okay, starting on January 2nd, I'm doing boom, 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 boom. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to gradually continue to add things in so they become lifestyle changes, and I'm not overwhelming myself. It's just not worth it to try these drastic changes in my diet and all that other stuff. I know Corey talked about just doing fruit and veggies for the month of January. Lord bless him, but I'm not going to commit to doing it. I know me. And so I'm going to slowly do some things, some cut away red meat and all those. I may just, I do ground turkey now. So I may mix in some ground turkey with some lean ground beef, just to kind of get Peyton and Corey's palate better used to it. And we do that. It's not like I've never done all this stuff before that I'm doing. It's just that at some point in my life, I want to blame it on COVID, because COVID gets the blame for everything, but I just got off track and I have not been able to find my new rhythm. And so that's what I'm trying to figure out. What is my rhythm? And so again, this is for me. I would encourage you guys to start small. I would encourage you guys to be very realistic about your expectations, because as much as I aspire to be, this brick house, I also know I like to eat. And so I got to work on changing my diet, and I'm changing it. But there's this thing, I love to bake cookies at night when everybody is in bed and I'm up by myself and I'm catching up on my shows, and I like to eat chocolate chip cookies. And it's the bucket from Sam's. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And so anyway, I want to be intentional about, doing the things that help make me better, but not with the unrealistic expectations on the other side of it, right? And so I would love to get into some jeans that I've been holding on to, but guess what? If I can't get into those jeans by spring, I am giving those jeans away and blessing somebody else, because me holding on to those jeans, all it's doing is making me pack more and more stuff in my closet. that's the other thing I need to do. And you know what? I just said that, and that wasn't even on my list of things to talk about. Decluttering. I need to declutter. Like, I don't know that I want to become a minimalist, but I need to declutter. I need to get rid of stuff that I'm just not wearing. And so the way it's been happening as of late is I go in the closet and I'm like, okay, why do I still have these shoes? The heels are tore up so bad. Why do I still have these shoes? And so I'm shaking, putting them in a trash bag because for some reason I kept them for a long time. And boom, I'm like, this is really unnecessary. It's time to buy some more shoes. So anyway, I need to add that to my list though. And again, I'm not going to go in and say, okay, Saturday, I'm reorganizing my closet. No, I'm going to continue to get rid of a sweater here, a shirt there, some pants there. And I'm going to try them on. Do they fit? Why do I like them? I got that from my friend Kenya. See, Kenya, I was listening. And so, but I'm going to continue to do that until I go through my closet. And then in the process, maybe I'll get it better organized. It's organized now, but it's not where it needs to be at all. And I just need to get rid of some stuff. There's no need for me to have a drawer full of shirts when I keep pulling the same t-shirts out to go work in that are on the top. I don't go through that drawer worth nothing. Why do we do that, y'all? Like, that's so crazy to me. I legit I'll go through. And in the mornings, I'm like, I'm looking for the black one. Where's the black t-shirt? And I just moved a yellow t-shirt, a green one, a red one, only to look for that same black one that I wear every week. It's mind-blowing. But anyway, I need to add that to my list of things that I wanted to start to fold in to these life-changing things that I want to do. So that's my number one. My number one is self-care. And self-care looks different for everybody. Self-care could be eating you some ice cream and just chilling on the weekend. I don't know. But no two have the same, self-care routines or expectations. I just ask that as we start this journey in 2023, let's be realistic about what we are trying to achieve and what we can achieve. And be willing to give yourself grace as you go through the process, which leads me to my number two I mentioned earlier. I am going to clap, or rather celebrate myself during the process. So many times, other people are at the top of our to-do list. We celebrate our children finishing a semester of school. We celebrate them whether their grades were mediocre or whether they were really, really good. We celebrate our significant others and friends in our lives who even just make a decision. They may not have even made a full change, but they made a decision. They made a decision to quit smoking. They made a decision to quit drinking or doing whatever the thing was. And so for us, though, we wait until there's this great reveal. We shouldn't have to lose 80 pounds before we celebrate. Let's celebrate at the 5, right? Like, we don't have to wait till we're at the end of it to feel like we've achieved something. And this is the thing that I have realized, and this is the reason I have a love-hate relationship with social media, is that I don't need others to clap for me. I appreciate it, but I don't need it because I already know my value. And so when we need that applause, when we need that rah-rah at the end of what we do, we are empowering other people to give us our value. And we don't need to do that. We know our standards. We know our value. We can clap for ourselves. It's great to have that support in addition to your own, but I don't want to wait. I don't want to lessen the meaning of my process because I'm looking at the end or looking at where I'm trying to go. I said this a few weeks ago. I heard this phrase called hard joy. And for me, I believe that's where I am in my life. The joy part is I know that I am called to do the work that I do, the mentoring that I do, and I get to see the fruit of that every day. The hard part, I don't like where I am in the spaces that I do them. And so for that, that hard joy. And so for that, I cannot diminish the value of my right now because I'm ready to celebrate what's coming later. If I didn't have the right now, I wouldn't appreciate the later. And so I don't want to wait and celebrate. I don't want to, one of the things that I struggle with is vulnerability. And what I have allowed myself to do and to be in this fight to not be vulnerable is that I try not to get too close to anything. And I try to keep a safe safe enough distance where as my friend, I love you. As my family member, my children, they know that I am always there going to do what I need to do, but I'm always bracing myself for this. I don't know, y'all. It's like I'm bracing myself for this thing, for the ball to drop, for the shoe to drop. Is that what the phrase is? And so because of that, I have, I've lost out on opportunities to have really close relationships because I create this space. And so I heard this story and it messes me up every time. There's a man who said that he struggled with vulnerability. Same thing. He said that he would keep his space where he was close enough to the thing, but far enough where he was always ready for the thing to happen, for the shoe to drop, whatever. Why can't I remember that phrase, y'all? So nevertheless, he was in a car accident and he lost his wife of 40 years. And he said, y'all, he said in that moment, the only thing he could think about was all these years he spent trying to keep his vulnerability close to him did not eliminate the hurt and the pain that he felt in the moment. He was like, I could have been experiencing more joy had I allowed myself to be vulnerable and lean into people and situations more instead of feeling robbed in this moment where I've suffered a major loss. So what I walked away with was me trying to savor that space gains me nothing. Me trying to not carry or lead with emotion. And I've let that govern me so much. And so let's be clear. I'm not saying I'm not ahead anymore, but I am saying that I want to lean into situations with emotion, with more emotional intelligence, if you will, so that I apply the right thing that's needed in those moments. So I'm not cold, right? And so for that, anyway, that's part of this journey of hard joy for me. And so for that, I want to celebrate this space and the ugly parts that come with it and be able to talk about them freely and not let them hold me hostage to the space that I'm in right now. For so long, I've held it, and I've held it because I didn't have the right words to describe it. And then I wanted to make sure that I had the emotion part under control. But I think her name was Christy, that said this to me. It's okay with letting people watch you, do it, see this space while you're going through the process. And that is such a big statement for me. And so anyway, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to celebrate, and I'm going to allow that vulnerability to be greater if the opportunity allows, so I don't miss out on the joy of the moment and seeking the other side of whatever space that I'm in. So anyway, that's my 2023 summed up as a whole. I don't have any, I'm trying to save money deal or whatever. I try not to do a thing with money, and I'll tell you why. I don't know, y'all. Early on, after leaving home and college and living on my own and being married and divorced, and I have made some poor financial decisions. And so in turn, I heard Will Smith say this when he was on Oprah many years ago. He said he was reading I think it's Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and he was wanting his kids to read it. And he said, as much money as I have, I still go to bed a slave to thinking about, how do I make more money? How do I make sure that my family is secure? And he said, I don't want my children to feel that way. And so for me, it's consumed me for so long to make sure I had things in order, that I got things back where it needed to be, whether it be my credit, whether it be my savings. And so for that, I'm not going to stress over what is not. It is what it is. And so for that, I want to make sure that with my children, and this is the biggest thing I tell Jonathan this to this day, is that I wanted him to know the value of himself over the value of a brand. So when you get the brand, it's just because you genuinely like it. If you like Jordans, that's your thing. That's what you like, and you working and you can afford to get your Jordans. But I don't want you getting the Jordans because other people like them or other people have them, and you're trying to keep up with other people, because you become so enslaved to the culture and to trying to keep up with other people, and you miss out on the joy of where you are trying to open somebody else's meal. I think that's how I heard it said. So mind the business that pays you, and you don't have to have all of that. You can have it if you want it, but it's not a requirement. And so same thing with Peyton. I'm having a little hard time teaching it, but you don't have to have the latest and greatest of everything, because if you do, you're chasing that thing. And so for me, I seldom make money goals. And to each his own. That's just my thing, because it consumed me for so many years and stressed me out if I felt like I wasn't meeting the goal. I didn't get back on track as fast as I wanted to. And so for that, I am not, I ask God to deliver me from that. And it's still a work in progress, but that's not a goal that I have. And so what's yours? What are you trying to be better about? What are you trying to stop doing? What are you trying to start doing? Whatever it is, give yourself grace to make those changes. Rome wasn't built overnight. We didn't gain this weight overnight. It took 6-9 months, couple of years, whatever. And we start day by day, making better change, making better decisions. And we look to see for the better that continues to come from those changes, little by little. And then we get to enjoy the beauty of the lifestyle changes that we are making. So I look forward to season 2. I look forward to 2023 and sharing with you guys, hearing what's happening with everybody. And if you're like me, I'm going to continue to watch The Best Man, the final chapters, for a while, in hopes. I wish they would have started a series or something, y'all. I don't know. Anyway, I can get off on that for a while, because the whole Robin and Harper thing just ain't sitting well in my spirit. So anyway, I don't know. I'm excited, y'all. So I look forward to it. More to come from me. And once again, I appreciate the support. Please go and subscribe to the YouTube, The Hard-Headed Way. I also am on Apple, Google, and Spotify for the audio. And I have a webpage, another great space, thehardheadedway.com. I'm going to start making updates at some point, but my first passion is blogging, is writing. And so if you go and subscribe there to my email list, I'll start pushing out some of my blog messages, and I'll also include links to my videos and things like that here. So thank you so much, guys. Cheers to 2023. More to come. Thanks, guys.